party time in Vincent Country.
Get excited.
I'm Chef Tommi V, and you are welcome to take a seat at my table. Today we are celebrating birthdays. I'm here with Lovey, my love bug, and has it been 2 years we have been planning a birthday celebration together. So I have you in my kitchen.
Thank you for having me.
And we are going to make confetti cupcakes so that Lovey and I can finally celebrate our birthdays.
Yes.
You ready?
Excited. I'm super excited. Thank you for having me, Chef.
Awesome. So listen, I'm going to have you work on creaming the butter and the sugar.
Okay.
I'll work on putting our dry ingredients together. And this is a simple recipe. There's not a lot of ingredients nor a lot of steps, so you will be able to follow along. And if that is problematic for you, we will have the directions and all of the ingredients at vincentcountry.com, as well as the list of ingredients will be in the description. So, are you ready to get started?
I am.
Perfect. So, you're going to use the stand mixer. You can use a spoon. You'll just spend more time breaking up any lumps and clumps. If you have a hand mixer, you can use that as well. So, you're going to take your butter and you're going to put that in the mixer and you're going to cream it. Our settings go up to 10, take it about halfway and cream it just for a minute, and then you can add in your sugar.
Okay.
And you're going to continue to cream it until your mixture begins to fluff and also it pales. That's an important note when you are creaming. Directions in a recipe tell you to cream your sugar and your butter. That actually helps to create volume for your cake, whatever your baked good is. So you want to bring it until the color turns to a pale color once we get those eggs in there. Okay? All right, so you get started on that and I'll go ahead and start working on our dry ingredients. We're going to add in our flour, our baking powder, and our salt. So we'll do 2.5 cups of flour. And my flour is nice and loose inside of the container. It wasn't packed down, so it's nice and airy. And then I have these gorgeous heart-shaped measuring spoons, compliments of my love bug. Thank you, Lovey.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to use these. This is 1 teaspoon, and we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of our baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. I did not sift our ingredients together, but I'm using the whisk to come in here and to incorporate all of the dry ingredients. And also, if there are any clumps in our flour, this will do the job of breaking them up. Okay, now I want you to turn it up some to get some more air. By increasing the speed, it's going to get some more air into that butter and that sugar. Okay, drop your bowl down. And then oftentimes when people are baking, they'll leave a ton of ingredients on the bottom of the bowl or the sides of the bowl because they're not scraping as they go along. So you want to go ahead and take this spatula and go around the bowl on the inside and pull all those ingredients back to the middle.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start separating our eggs because we're going to use 3 whole eggs and 2 egg yolks plus 2 egg yolks to go inside of there. So when you finish with that, you can start adding in 1 egg at a time, and then I will separate these. So while we're doing this piece, Lovey, let's talk about how you and how I would say our relationship blossomed beyond friendship and more into kinship, sisters. Lovey has been participating in the Vincent Country Women's Retreats now for how many years? 3 or 4?
4. I feel like it's been 4.
4 years. So we have an annual women's retreat, and Lovey has been attending for 4 years. Prior to that, we met at church. We both used to attend the same church. I'll put this egg yolk in. And so Lovey and I have had the opportunity to intimately get to know one another. And she is one of Chef Tommy V's largest supporters. She is definitely a cheerleader, and she encourages me. She prays for me. She calls at the perfect moment when I need encouragement. And everyone needs a friend like that in their life.
Thank you.
That's oftentimes people fall short of reaching the finish line because no one is encouraging them to go the whole way, to complete the journey. So I appreciate that about you, Lovey.
I appreciate you. I love you.
I love you too. I love you too.
I
I love you too. Okay, so are all the eggs in?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, start cranking up that speed. You got everything in there now, and you can let it rip. See how the coloring, how it's paling? That's what I was talking about, that volume, when that air starts aerating through those eggs, because eggs are a leavening agent, just like the baking powder that we're using in here. So getting that air and that volume into those eggs, that's also going to help our cupcakes to have a nice rise to them. So now we can go to the next step of the recipe, and we're going to start incorporating our dry and our wet. So I'll go ahead and I'll add in a cup. And I don't stop my mixer. I just keep going, and I'm just careful when I put in my dry ingredients, because if I put it in and it hits that blade, all the dry is going to just flip around. Yeah, so adding the liquid as we go along is going to help damper that down. So I just keep it tight to the edge and put it in. Let's go ahead and actually add in our vanilla too before you crank it up, because you also don't want to overmix your cake, because that can cause your crumb to be dry and crumbly versus moist. So there's you want to have the right balance of mixing. So crank it up, because we want to make sure that everything that we have in there gets well incorporated.
I didn't know you could overmix a cake.
Absolutely. And when people are trying to get their batter super smooth, you tend to go to the side where you've gone too far. And it causes protein strands to start forming, and that's what will cause a tough cake versus a tender baked cake. That's perfect. Okay, and let's mix it one more time, and then we're going to fold in the sprinkles, which make the confetti color on the inside of the cake. Let it rip. Go ahead, let it rip. So now that we have all of these ingredients incorporated, we can go ahead and fold in the sprinkles, which give the confetti look inside of the cake. But you brought something with you today.
I'm so excited to use it. I brought my love spoon. I got this at the last conference or retreat, and I love cooking with it. It's nothing like adding a little bit of love to your food. You should always add love, so it's the main ingredient. I learned that from Chef. Shameless plug.
So you know what? I'm glad that you brought your spoon, because it is indicative of our relationship and what has really forged us together at the retreats. When we sit down and we break bread over the food that is prepared, that everybody puts their hand in, we always add love. We always top it off with love. So I'm glad you brought your spoon. So we're going to do away with this, whoever this is, and I want you to fold it in with your love spoon. Okay, so I'm just going to dump them all in, and you could go ahead and fold those into the batter. So folding is just a motion of folding over, folding over. We did all of that work to add air into our batter, so we don't want to whip it around. So the folding will just allow for Lovey to gently put those sprinkles, incorporate them throughout all of the batter so that there are sprinkles all throughout.
Am I doing it right?
You are doing an excellent job. Excellent job. And you can see all of the sprinkles are virtually all incorporated, right? So we don't want to manipulate our batter more than we need to. So when you see that it's all throughout, you stop. Okay? We're going to use an ice cream scooper to put the batter in. This does a couple of things. One, it helps to keep things from getting a mess. And also what it does is it's like a measurement. So if everyone fill this up the same, then all of your cupcakes should bake up the same, and it just helps with the presentation. So they all should cook at the same rate at the same time. So you're just going to scoop it in. Use the side of your bowl. So it can help, and then you just plop them in. All right, let's take them to the oven. You take one, I'll take one.
I'm gonna take the good ones that I did. Okay.
All right, so let's put these bad boys in the oven.
Yes.
So we're putting them in a preheated oven that was set to 350 degrees, and we're going to put them in for 19 minutes, and then we'll check them to see if they're finished in the center, and we'll go from there. But while this is taking place, Lovey, you and I are going to work on the frosting that we're going to put on top of these babies. All right? So let's set our timer for 19 minutes. So Lovey, let's work on the frosting while the cupcakes are in the oven. So what we have here is a pound of butter and 8 ounces of cream cheese. You're going to put that into the mixer, and you're going to allow for all of that to cream together. Our butter and our cream cheese have been softened. We took them out of the packaging, and we kept them out at room temperature. Okay, so you could go ahead and put that in here. While you're putting that in there, we have this really cool contraption that we got from the crafting store, which will allow for us to have 3 different color frosting. So it's going to be pretty cool. And we have blue, yellow, and red. All right, get them in. And we're going to turn this on. And because they're both soft, everything is mixing very easily together. The cream cheese is not leaving clumps, or there aren't any chunks of butter, because everything is nice and soft. Okay, that was pretty seamless.
Yes.
Now we're going to add in our confection sugar, our powdered sugar, and it would be 1 16-ounce bag. This is the part where if you were using a stand mixer or a hand mixer, when you turn on that mixer and you have all this dry ingredient in here, usually what happens is there's a cloud of smoke and that powdered sugar starts getting everywhere. So we're going to take a towel and drape it across the top to prevent that from happening, and the towel will catch all of that. Drape it across the top, and then we don't have to, we can just turn it on and allow it to mix together. So cut it on halfway just to try to get those dry ingredients dampered down with the butter and the cream cheese. Okay, now you can turn it up. And now we're good to go. See, so it's all incorporated and that is all going. Okay, let's turn that off. And let's taste it.
Ooh, my favorite part. I'm an expert at tasting.
Use your finger,
Okay.
not your mouth, because we're going to share this spoon.
Sorry, I'm being greedy. It's really good.
How's it taste?
It tastes really good.
In this particular frosting, you don't even have to add any vanilla or anything to it. You can add flavoring if you chose to, and you would do it here. This would be the point in preparation where you would do that. We're going to keep it just like this, and we're going to transfer the frosting to 3 different bowls so we can mix in our colors. And our timer is going to be going off here soon for the cake. I know that's why I said we're going to tidy up a bit. They look wonderful. So Lovey, let's test them. So stick the toothpick in the center. Looks good.
Yes.
All right, so let's get these out of the oven. And because we haven't used our stove top, we can sit them right here where we have air circulating underneath, and they can cool right there. So here, you take this and you go ahead and mix your color, and I'll begin mine. It's a gel color, so the color is pretty potent. So you don't have to use a lot, but you determine the shade you want. So you put some in, you mix it, and then if you want it brighter or more vibrant, you can add more color. Now we know that that red and white make pink. So in order to achieve red, we would have to really use a whole lot of this. And I don't want to go that far because then the frosting will start to have a medicinal type of taste. So we'll be more on the pink side here. Are you satisfied with your yellow?
I like it.
When you put your frosting in your bag, you want to make sure that you fold it down, because you need to be able to twist your bag to get that pressure build up behind the frosting to get it to come through.
Okay.
So this is going to give us that room we need to twist it. And it also, if any frosting gets on the bag in here, it's not a big deal. It won't get all over your hands. So you could just spoon it in. Knock it down to get it down into the bag. And then we will cut the bag right here so that the tip comes through the bottom. That way we can get All right, so let's get these into this little contraption. Okay, so we have all of our color together in this nice contraption. And so the key is to make sure that your bags are taut, like you knock the air out of them so that you can feel the pressure inside of the bag. That will ensure that your icing is flowing freely. And so we're going to start on the outside edge, and we're going to come around and finish in the center. We are celebrating one another. However, it's so important that you know how to celebrate yourself. So you don't have to wait for somebody to acknowledge you and to celebrate you. Make your cupcakes for yourself and celebrate you, because you are worthy of the celebration. So we have our beautiful cupcakes for our celebration. Now all we need is a lighter, and then you and I are going to, you take one.
Thank you.
I'll take one. I have some candles over here for us to celebrate.
I love it. This is a whole vibe.
Yes. We are a vibe. We are a mood.
Yes, a movement.
Yes. With our industrial lighter. This is a Troy Vincent signature. Okay, you can sing to me.
What do you want me to sing?
It's happy birthday.
Okay. I needed to know this so I could tune out.
Come on before my candle go out.
Oh, okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Chef Tommy B. Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
And many more.
Thank you, lovey.
You're welcome.
You want me to sing to you?
Can you sing?
No.
Okay.
But happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yay.
Yay.
So let's eat. Let's taste them. So moist.
It's so good.
Excuse my full mouth. But thank you for coming and celebrating with Lovey and I today. We're so glad that you came and stayed a while with us in Vincent Country. You can find this recipe at vincentcountry.com, and make sure, if you're not already following the Chef Tommy V YouTube channel, that you follow, turn on your notifications, and make sure you comment so that I'll know what you think about this recipe and if there are any other recipes you would like for me to share. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.